Hi, so today I'm going to be doing a review slash haul, I guess, of Molded from Love. She has so many molds that are like Zelda themed, gamer themed, Pokemon ones, cute ones, horror ones. She just has everything. As you can see, my purchase is kind of huge because I went a little bit overboard. It was kind of my birthday. Don't judge me. I want to say before I start this review that I am super happy with my purchase, but I am going to be critical just because I feel like I want to give the most honest review possible. And one thing that's super important to me when it comes to resin is quality. Even if a mold is super cute, I want it to be good quality as well. So to start off with the molds that I actually paid for. First I have this Boskie Mold from The Legend of Zelda. I have castings of each mold that I got. As you can see, it's totally perfect. It's shiny and it is a good thickness. This is filled right to the top. The cavity, in order to pour different colors, is a really good thickness. It's not too thin. As you can see, the space between the border on this horn is a little bit thin compared to this one, but I don't care about that because you don't even notice it. Next I have this Majora's Mask mold, which is probably my favorite out of everything I've ordered. Here's the casting. I was an idiot and I cracked it. That's not the fault of the mold. But yeah, it casts perfectly. I will say that a lot of her molds have these like marks. I think there's probably a name for these, but they're on pretty much all of her molds. But it doesn't so much matter for this one. Perfectly even, perfect thickness. I adore it. Perfect mold. Nothing bad to say at all. I have this palette, or it was a palette before I cut it up. It had this like Triforce, Hylian insignia, Hylian shield, 2 rupees, and this Navi. This Triforce one was sold out on our site, and the only way I could get it is if I ordered the palette, and I wanted this one anyway, so I might as well. As you can see, this one, I already have things poured in it. This mold is awesome. The cavities, again, are perfect thickness. It is a little bit bigger on this side than on this side, but you can't really tell when you do a full casting. So this is a casting I've done with that mold. As you can see, it is super pretty. It is super accurate to the game. All of the cavities are really easy to fill, and it's so detailed. This is the Triforce. I did a lot of these with 10-minute resin just because I wanted to get the review as soon as possible. I love this mold. Again, good thickness. This one's perfectly even. The cavity is a perfect thickness to pour the resin into different colors. Awesome. Perfect. Again, nothing bad to say. So I did only cast for one of the rupees. This one that I cut out. They're both the same. They're both even. This one's not even because I casted it really bad. But I just wanted to show what it looked. Also, it's really ugly. Ignore that. But yeah, the only thing I have to say about this is that this side, this slant, is bigger than this one, but it's not a big deal. If you made leaves translucent or something, you definitely wouldn't be able to tell. And again, perfect to pour the different colors. Super awesome. I think it's really cute. It's like really 3D and nice. On this mold, it does come over the, like, as you can see, it's an indent, and then there's a piece here that comes over it, but when you pop it out, they both fold out, so it's really easy to pop out. I thought that was going to be impossible, but it's super flexible. Moving on, I have this Super Mario Galaxy mold that has these 2 Lumas, and I actually have 2 of them because I accidentally ordered 2. This is my free mold. I thought I had in my cart a different one and I ended up with 2, but that's not her fault. That's me being stupid. I will say that I did use 10-minute resin in this, and it kind of like collapsed her eye socket, which sounds disgusting, but as you can see, the eyes are kind of thin, so the heat, I guess, melted it. So I'm not going to use 10-minute resin in this again, but yeah. Here's the casting I did with the 10-minute resin. It's super gross looking and it has a lot of bubbles, but as you can see, it's a good thickness. And then this is one that I did with normal resin. There's 2 bubbles there. But yeah, one thing I will say is that the eye sockets are kind of thin. As you can see through the resin. And it's like, it's not so thin that you can push it in or anything. So yeah, not really any issues with that one except for my own stupidity destroying her eye. Another mold I ordered was this Minecraft one, which has a creeper and a sword. And this sword is perfectly I don't have a casting for this sword, but it is perfectly even and nice. And here is the casting for the creeper. Ignore the really ugly green that I did. Again, this is done with 10-minute resin. This part is, I will say, really thin, but that might have just been me not pouring enough resin in. But as you can see, it is super cool. The last mold that I actually paid for was a 6-cavity heart mold. I use a lot of these 2-inch hearts when I do resin, so I obviously cut it up, but I have a bunch. It is super puffy. It's completely even. It's kind of hard to show, but there are a lot of marks inside the mold, and this is on all of them. So when you pop the hearts out, they're not completely smooth, which is kind of disappointing. As soon as I got this mold and I saw that, I was just like, oh crap. They do show up on the pieces, unfortunately. The piece does feel a bit rough, and it looks really shiny on camera. But yeah, it's a little bit, it's not perfect. Here's another piece. You can kind of see it up there. It's like marks all over it. And that's on every one, all 6 cavities, which I'm a little disappointed in, but I'll still use it, obviously. It still looks fine. So now on to my free molds. So one of the first freebies I got was this like power button mold, which is super cool. I don't really know what I'm going to use it for. You can't really fill in a different color for this part unless you like want to overspill the mold. Yeah, as you can see, it's completely filled when it's in there. Another free mold that I received was this like Navi rupee palette, which is so cool. I like these Navis a lot more than the one I actually paid for. They are so cute, as you can see. They're a lot more accurate to, I think, the art in the actual Zelda games, whereas the other one's more like 3-dimensional and like what it would look like in reality, but I like these a lot more. And then there's a little tiny one. Isn't that cute? In that mold, there were these teeny tiny little 1-dimensional rupee shapes, which are, I mean, they're okay. As you can see, there's kind of like indents. I like them. I think they're cute. I don't know what I'm going to use them for. If it's free, it doesn't matter. And then there was like this kind of big rupee shape, and this one's like super uneven. This side's about half the size of this side. You can see it a little better when I show the mold itself. As you can see, yeah. So I can't even use that one, but it was free. Like I said, doesn't matter. Also as a freebie, I got this Minecraft extra palette thing. So I got this creeper, kind of like dog tag thing, and then I got this sword. It's like a super wavy sword. Just to show a casting of the sword. This one's a diamond sword, but yeah, do you see that? And here's the casting for the creeper thing. Ignore the hideous green color that I tried to make with the 10-minute resin. The layers are a really good thickness to pour the 2 different colors, but they are like, I don't know if you can see this, they are like 2, you can really tell they're 2 layers. It's like 2 different pieces stacked on top of each other, and it like has like a juts in, like there's like an indent and then like it juts out there. But it does make it kind of difficult to get out of the mold because it's like stuck in there, right? But I still like it, super cute. And then the last freebie, like actual freebie I got was this Pokeball, which is so cool. Here, I didn't do a very good job of pouring the layers. They are kind of thin, but it's totally doable. I just didn't do a very good job of it. And it's a good thickness, etc. Not really anything bad to say about this. This is probably my favorite free mold that I received. Now I'm kind of going to go on a spiel because this one, I got a lot of issues with this one. I have this mold. I didn't order this mold. I ordered something kind of like this mold. The description was puffy chibi wing mold or something. It was this heart, but instead of these like bat wings, it had like the you know, the swirly, puffy, cutesy type ones. Maybe I'll show a picture or something. It had those. So I picked that as my free mold. And I got this one, and I was like, oh, that's just an honest mistake. But then I checked her site, and she had taken down the original mold that I had ordered. And this one was up there, but this one wasn't the description or the same mold that I had picked. So I did contact her about it about 4 days ago, and she hasn't gotten back to me. And I'll show you another huge problem I have with it. This wing is super thick, and this one is super thin. As you can see, one is actually twice as thick as the other one. So even if I did find a use for this mold, I wouldn't be able to use it because it is so uneven. I have a casting. Since I figured she wasn't going to respond to my email, might as well use it anyway for the review. This one completely broke off because it's so thin. This is filled right to the top. Like, it even overspilled a little bit. I don't know if you could, yeah, as you can see, it overspilled a little bit when I was filling it, so, but this is so thin. And then this one is super thick. We'll say that the cavity is deep enough to pour different colors, but yeah, like I said, even if I did find a use for this mold that I didn't want, I couldn't use it because it's so uneven and it's just unusable. Like I said, I don't want to be mean or anything, I just want to be honest. It's just a small issue considering that she picked out all these free, like completely free, not picked out free molds that were relevant to my interests and super nice. This isn't a big deal. So I hope this review was helpful. I hope you don't think I'm like mean or anything. I just really wanted to offer like my honest critiques. And if there was anything good to say, I'll say something good. If there's something bad to say, I'll say something bad. I'm just incredibly adamant about making my resin pieces the highest of quality as possible. So if there's a small detail that's off, I just want to let you know in case you're as picky as I am. Here is her business card. I ordered from her online site. She also has an Etsy where she sells similar items. And then there's also her Facebook page. If you have any questions or anything, just leave them in the comments. I'll try my best to answer them. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.